Welcome to BrosKnow's entertainment from Middle Earth, entertainment talk from Middle Earth. I am one half of your host, Eric.
Hey, I get introduced today. Awesome. Hey, I'm Gavin. Looking forward to talking some movie news. Let's get into it. What we got?
Okay, now just remember last week I promised that every time I say or there will be $1 that pops up at the bottom of the screen somewhere over here, and it'll be counting throughout this video. So I'll be trying not to say or Those 4 R's and ums aren't counted. I know those two.
Why not?
So from now on, let's go. So on our show today we've got our movie news. Gavin will be bringing us that. We've got a review, Kubo and the 2 Strings.
Good movie.
We've got our top 10 Gene Wilder movies. We will go through that after why we're choosing Gene Wilder. Mm-hmm. Clash of the Geeks.
Sweet.
And then we'll actually round up the show with stuff that you brought on TradeMe, crap that you brought on TradeMe.
Absolutely.
So let's get into it. Movie news, Gavin.
Alright. So, today on movie news, New Zealand may have another filmmaker directing a Marvel Studios movie. Marvel has released a short list of female directors they are considering to helm the upcoming Captain Marvel film. The list includes Lorraine Scafaria, who directed Seeking a Friend at the End of the World, Leslie Linka Glatter, who directs a lot of TV, Homeland, Mad Men, Rebecca Thomas, new movie Electric Children came out, big buzz with that, and our very own Nikki Caro, who is the director of Whale Rider, of course. However, Captain Marvel is not due out until 2019, so we probably have to wait a while before the decision is announced.
Okay.
Secondly, Nate Parker of Beyond the Lights fame has been widely criticised in regard to a statement he made pertaining to a rape charge he was acquitted of in 1999, after details of the case were brought to light in the wake of his wide release of his Oscar potential movie Birth of a Nation, in which he is the writer, director and star. Nate Parker made a number of statements to address the concerns, but instead inflamed the situation as he was accused of showing no empathy, and critics felt he presented himself as the victim. Adding to the anger of his comments was the fact that the alleged victim had committed suicide in 2012. In a later interview, Nate Parker said it was not his intention to act the victim, and he just wanted to show that he was innocent. He also said that he was not aware that the victim had passed away before then.
Well, that's going to have some fallback on Oscar season.
Yeah, big time. This movie may not be Oscar potential anymore. Third up, Ben Affleck has tweeted out a picture of Deathstroke, who was recently played by Money Bennett in the Arrow series. So if you don't know who Deathstroke is, he's a mercenary, super soldier type guy, badass pretty much. It is not known if Deathstroke will be in any other DC properties prior to the Batman movie. So it's believed it will be for the Batman movie. Yeah.
Wow, okay. We'll talk about that a bit later, I think.
And lastly, Richard Linklater of Everybody Wants Him, a movie he released this year. Very good, by the way. Fame has named the cast for his next movie. They are Bryan Cranston, Steve Carell, and Lawrence Fishburne. The movie will be called The Last Flag and is the sequel, of sorts, to the 1973 films The Last Detail. Now, The Last Detail starred Jack Nicholson, Randy Quaid, and Otis Young, which was about 2 Navy swabs who are showing the Randy Quaid character a good time prior to while they're escorting him to prison for a petty crime that he committed. The Last Flag flying catches up with the main trio later in life, as the Randy Quaid character requests his old friends help to bring home the body of his son who died in the Iraqi war. So that's some of the news that came out this week. What do you want to talk about?
We've got to talk about, I wish we could talk about 2, more than 2, but I think we're going to have to talk about Deathstroke.
We'll talk about it, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so Money Bennett played Deathstroke, if you didn't know, in the Arrow universe.
Yeah.
He was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They took the Deathstroke story from sort of its origins It was played quite well by Money Bennett. I doubt if he's going to be in the movie version.
No, I can't remember the actor's name, but they're thinking about the tall guy who's in the male strippers movie.
Oh, Magic Mike.
Magic Mike, yeah. So when I can't. I'll look up his name. Yeah, while you're having a chat.
Okay, yeah. So for you guys who may not have seen it, Money Bennett, he's a New Zealand actor. He's had a bit of work on TV recently. There was a story he did about his childhood and how he was turned right by a ex-All Black Norm Hewitt.
Joe Manganiello.
Joe Manganiello. I like Joe Manganiello. He's funny. He's got fantastic
He looks
humor.
He's like 6'6". It's massive.
And yeah, and when he's obviously from True Blood.
Yeah.
Plays werewolf in that. So they've got someone who's got the presence for it.
Yeah. Those are the thoughts. Nothing's named.
Okay. I'm surprised that they haven't got more on Batman because that has been in development for a little bit. I would have thought they would have been shaping the story, getting the characters together.
Yeah, look, nothing's really been put out there. Only a tweet of a Deadpool picture. That's pretty much it. But just a little tease from being a flick.
Interesting. They might be trying to get on some of that good Deadpool vibe.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And you wanted to look at Last Flag Flying? Richard Linklater?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's have a look at that. Yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, so it was Jack Nicholson movie, and it's 73. It's a good flick. It's a drama. It's really Jack Nicholson at the height of his powers. And yeah, so there's this young guy who's committed this crime, and they have to take him to military prison. But he hasn't done anything of his life. He's a virgin. He's like 22 or something like that. He's still a virgin. Hasn't drunk. Hasn't done anything really.
Randy Quaid, a virgin.
Well, he's a very young Randy Quaid. Yeah. So they decide they're going to take him out and give him a good time before they drop him off wherever he needs to go. Yeah. So. And this is a movie that Richard Linklater has been thinking about for a long time. He did talk to Jack Nicholson and Randy Quaid about that. Otis Young died in 2001, so it was available. And then, for whatever reason, delays, whatever, it just never got made, so they decided to recast. I'm not sure if Jack Nicholson is interested anymore, or maybe they're just too old these days.
He's not done a movie in a while, Jack.
He hasn't, yeah, so I'm not sure. I think Departed was his last movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he did one year. That's pretty expensive, isn't it? That one sentence. His movie was the Bucket List.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah,
that was his last movie, as far as I know. He might have done one in 2010. Fantastic cast though. Richard, is that Steve Carell?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm guessing Steve Carell is going to play the Dennis Quaid, Randy Quaid character. He seems more to fit with that one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we will move on to our weekly box office here.
Yeah, sure. So, in the... Oh. Just click over here so we can see where I am. Oh, there we are. Okay, so in the US box office, number one was Don't Breathe. This is a pretty good looking horror, suspense thriller type horror. If you haven't seen the shorts or the trailer for it, I reckon you check it out. It's pretty creepy. So that made 26,411,000. Suicide Squad came in second, or 12,248,000. Kubo and the Two Strings came in at third, 7,844,000. Sausage Party, still going pretty strong, 7,525,000. And The Mechanic Resurrected, I believe, is the name of it, came in at 7,456,000.
That's the first week?
This first week of The Mechanic? Yeah. Oh, what's happening there? At the New Zealand box office, Bad Mums came in at number one. Everybody wanted to get out and see an R-rated comedy, I'm guessing. So that came in at 464,000. Suicide Squad came in second at 293,000. Ab Fab came in third, 152,000. Ben-Hur didn't do too bad.
That's the first week.
First week, yeah. Considering it didn't even make the top 6 in America last weekend. So that came in at fourth with 147,000, and War Dolls came in at fifth with 134,000. I think Kubo came in just, oh no, yeah, I think he came in sixth.
Sixth.
Yeah.
Right. I was just wanting to talk about Don't Breathe. I've seen the trailers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Looks interesting premise. A couple of people want to break into a person's house. They think it's a blind guy. He's going to be an easy steal there, I think.
Yeah.
And it all goes wrong for them. So that's a different type of horror. You like your horrors? You're going to see that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind horrors. I don't find horrors particularly horrifying, but this is more of a thriller. So it's kind of got a premise like a Don't Panic, where these people come in and rob this thing, but instead of the person in the house being the victim role, he turns it around and he's just, he's taking them out.
Blind, but he's more than what he seems.
Well, he's like and this is all in the synopsis and not spoilers. So he's like a vet, I think, of the desert war, and he had just recently lost his daughter, I believe. So he's got skills and he's pissed off. So
a little unhinged.
Yeah.
Okay, Gavin, let's take us through the out this week.
Oh, out this week, the big one, Richie McCaw's movie, started yesterday. So that's a documentary of Richie McCaw. It's the last year of him as an All Black, and that plays out, of course, that ties in the World Cup.
So it's actual footage, it's not like...
It's a documentary, yeah. So it's actually him.
No one can play Richie McCaw except Richie McCaw, let's face it.
Yeah. So, I'm expecting that's going to make all the money this weekend. Matthew McConaughey stars, so Free State of Jones opens this weekend, and that's starring Matthew McConaughey. Now, he plays a southern farmer who's gets in a whole lot of other southern guys, and they fight against the Confederate Army. And this is based on the true story during the American Civil War.
American Civil War, okay.
And the last one is Serve. Now, Serve is a cyber thriller, so there's
Nerve?
Nerve, yeah. And it's a cyber thriller. There's a pair of strangers who get involved in this game, which is a viral game of dare, basically. And it just sort of escalates and get a bit out of hands.
Yeah, I have seen the shorts for that, and it looks interesting.
It does,
premise.
Yeah.
It's a harmless game,
Yeah.
and it turns out to be something way more big stakes at the end.
Yeah.
Don't want to spoil it, but you can see quite a bit of what the film is about if you watch the trailer.
Yeah. It's got Dave Franco in it, and I like Dave Franco, so yeah. He's a good actor, Dave Franco.
Okay, now, Kevin, you went to see Kubo and the Two Strings.
Kubo and Two Strings, yeah. Me and Dan went to watch that today. It was a very, very good movie. One of the best I've seen this year so far, I have to say. Like, this is a movie by Leica, and we talked about them before. They did Caroline, they did Box Trolls and Paranorman. So it's all in stop motion claymation type stuff.
With a bit of CGI.
CGI in there, yeah, sure. But beautiful movie, beautiful, and just because you know how it's done, it's too much. So it's got who's in there? There's Matthew McConaughey, Ralph Fiennes, Charlize Theron is voicing one of the characters there. Yeah, so the premise of the story is that you got this boy, and his mum's dying, and these people are after him. He's not quite sure why, and he has this magic powers. He has this a guitar, or Japanese version of a guitar, whatever they call it, and he can make he can manipulate the things around him with his guitar. So it's really following the story of him and his family. Like with all good animated movies, you know, the top class, you know, the Toy Stories in there, there's the things that appeal to children. So the things you see on the screen, the funny, the exciting, the scary, but there's also those undertones, the real fleshy bits under there, which adults can appreciate.
Adult tones that help the whole family.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, all your great animated stories have those, and this certainly has those. A lot of tones, or that undertone of story, which only adults will understand. Yeah. There's some scary ass bits in this, I have to say. You're probably watching like 8 and 9 and up, I think. I don't know what your little kids going to this one. There's some pretty scary monsters in this thing.
Okay.
Yeah. We had when we entered, there was a young child, probably about 4-ish, and there was another one about 4-ish again on the side of us. And I saw him jump in his mum's lap. He was getting a bit scared. So those monsters are pretty creepy.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a movie that's a lot of fun. There's a lot of laughs, but there's a lot of heart to this movie as well. The story's so original, so good. I mean, okay. So if you it's a mishmash of samurai, Japanese horror, and magic. You put those together, this is what this movie did. Come on, this is awesome.
That's interesting. There's not much movies that fit their mold.
Yeah. It's really original. It's really entertaining. It has a great heart to it. Very good story. Highly recommend you get to it. I'm really disappointed that it's not doing better than it is. Although I really think that this is a movie that's going to have legs. It's going to stick around for a long, long time.
Right. You've given a lot of positives about this. What are your negatives?
Look, I had a thought about this, and I really cannot think of any negatives. I mean, I was talking to Dan before. He thought that the end monster could have been, because the monsters with prior were pretty horrifying, and but the one at the end is not so much. But I think it kind of fits within the story. I can't sort of explain that to you, but the end protagonist could have been anything, and I think it chose that for reasons you can only find out by watching the movie. Yeah.
Right. Okay. There's been a few animated films this year. There's been the Ice Age movie, Ice Age 5, Collision Course, I think it was.
Yeah.
Of course, Finding Nemo 2, Finding Dory, and this movie, which is your favourite?
Out of the animated movies, this is easily my favourite. This is among my top 2 or 3 that I've seen this year.
Cool. Okay. Rating out of 10.
Oh, out of 10, I'm going to give it a very, very good score. I was most impressed with everything about this movie. Really don't have any qualms about anything of it. So I'm going to give it a 9.
A 9?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Gavin hardly gives 9s. I got to tell you, it's very impressive. I know that we've said not to follow reviews too much and to see it for yourself, but this movie sounds pretty interesting, original, and exciting.
Yeah. It's
I suggest that you go see it.
Yeah. Oh, it's one of the other voice talents is George Takei, and there's this bit where it's like a show, and they're just showing they see something. Here's this child with him. He sees something that's a little scary, and he blocks his kid's eyes. And goes, "Oh my!"
George Takei, if you know him, you know what that's all about. So, Kubo and the Two Strings, recommended 9 out of 10 from our reviewer, Gavin. Go see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Good movie.
Now, earlier in the show, I talked about why we're doing a Gene Wilder top 10. Gavin, can you take that away?
Yeah, so Gene Wilder unfortunately lost his battle to cancer last week, and he passed away at the age of 83. But he certainly left us a lot of memories before he went, and that's why we're going to do a top 10 about him.
Okay, I believe you've got the number 10, so let's go through our top 10 Gene Wilder movies.
Okay, the first one is, so these are our top 10 movies, we'll combine them. So Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex, this is a comedy by Woody Allen. I know it's that, the American Archives, they call them, it's like the number 11th, it's rated the 11th best comedy. I'm actually not a big fan of Woody Allen comedies, never have been, but his role in it is really, really funny.
That's
and he's Gene Wilder's role,
right.
So he's a standout. Like most of Woody Allen's movies, it's an ensemble cast, but he's really good in it, and yeah, I get a lot of laughs out of this one.
Right. Number 9 is The Woman in Red, most famous for its song by Stevie Wonder. He won an Academy Award for it. I just got to say I love you. This is an interesting premise about a guy who's happily married, but then he sees this woman. Famous scene with Kelly Brock, her skirt flies up in the air, a la Marilyn Monroe when she walks over. Great. He starts having these fantasies, and he ends up in some pretty precarious situations. This movie's been out for a while, so spoiler, he ends up on a ledge and everyone thinks that he's going to commit suicide.
Yeah, that's right.
He goes through a whole lot of stuff. It's quite funny. It's got a lot of hilarious scenes. Uncomfortable humour is how I would put it, because he puts himself into some really awkward situations when he's trying to get with this woman. He's really way out of his league.
Yeah.
So, number 9, Woman in Red.
Okay, number 8 is a movie called Hanky Panky. Now, this is probably not a movie that a lot of people have heard of. This is one of the first movies I came across Gilda Radner, and then I started watching her on. She's an original SNL alum. Yeah, and of course Gene Wilder's wife. And so that's what I really like about this movie. I mean, the premise of it is he's mistakenly killed someone, which he hadn't done. They get thrown together, and there's all this espionage stuff going on, and whatever, and they basically have to run around escaping this thing and finding the bad guy, right? But what's cool about the story is their chemistry together. They're very funny together, and they work so well. And of course, they were Woman to Read together.
Woman in Red, yes.
Woman and Read together, yeah. So that's my number 8. Very funny movie. Check it out.
Right. This is the first of our Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder movies together. It's not their first movie together. This is their third one. But this is the first one in our top 10. They worked really well together.
Yeah, they did.
You know, Richard Pryor has one of the filthiest mouths that I've ever heard on video. He can swear like a...
Yeah, his stand-up routine's hilarious.
They are funny. I mean, that's where Eddie Murphy gets his humour from. Very similar stuff. Chris Rock, their stuff kind of sounds very, very similar, and I think that they've taken Richard Pryor.
Oh yeah, no, they all refer to him.
Yeah. So in this movie, one is deaf, one is blind. Which one is deaf?
The deaf one is Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder is deaf, Richard Pryor is blind. They work together and they foil these murderous thieves. I mean, you get Richard Pryor, you get Gene Wilder together. It's got some really funny moments in it. So they're trying to foil the bad guys, and there's all stuff happening. Let's just say that it's one of their, not their best movie together, but one of their better movies together. One of their best movies together, I would say. Right, number 7. And Gavin.
Okay, and number 6 is The Producers. This is a movie from 1968. It was directed by Mel Brooks. I'm pretty sure it's the first movie Mel Brooks directed with Gene Wilder. Yeah, because he likes, when he finds someone he likes working with, he seems to stick with those people. And so this is a very popular movie. It won an Academy for Best Screenplay, I think. Then I know that Mel Brooks made it into a Broadway show, a musical later, which was remade in 2004. Bad movie. Yeah, very poor movie. Anyway, This version is very funny, and basically it follows this producer who finds out he can make this money by making a really crappy movie, and his lawyer, played by Gene Wilder, is sort of helping him do this and rip off Hollywood, basically. Yeah. So it's very funny, definitely worth checking out. And do not get it mixed up with the 2004 version, because you'll be bitterly disappointed. There's me.
Okay, number 5, The Silver Streak. This was Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder's first movie together.
Yeah.
It's considered a Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder movie, but Richard Pryor actually turns up halfway through. So it's not really, it's sort of a Gene Wilder movie with Richard Pryor tacked on. It's got a very good cast. Ned Beatty. Patrick McGoohan is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He's a very, very underrated actor. Jill Clayburgh was the actor of that
Jill
era,
Clayburgh, that's her name, yeah.
the 70s and early 80s. She did a little bit of work later on, but she was the woman that you see in most of those 70s type movies.
Yeah.
And a thriller comedy. Murder happens on the train, kind of like the Orange Express in America, and Gene Wilder goes through and he has to try and help solve this murder, protecting Jill Clayburgh, who is the damsel in distress, sort of like that. So it's another comedy thriller. It's got some excellent comedic elements in it. That's number 5.
Cool. This is Silver Bullet too.
Silver.
No, the Silver Bullet was a train.
Was a train,
pretty
yeah.
famous
Yeah,
train.
yeah.
Yeah. So number 4. Get into the real good stuff here. So number 4 is Young Frankenstein. Now, this will be a lot of people's number 1, I'm sure. A very funny movie. So basically, it's him a few years later. He's the son of Frankenstein, and he calls him Frankenstein, so he can sort of distance himself from Frankenstein name. Funny movie, Madeline Kahn, great cast, Peter Cook? No, Peter Cook, not Peter Cook. We'll check out his name. Peter Boyle, sorry. Peter Boyle was the other guy. Yeah. Terry Garr, it goes on, Cloris Leachman.
Oh man, there's some real great comedic actors in that.
Yeah, Gene Hackman makes an appearance.
That's interesting. That was filmed in black and white as well.
It was filmed in black and white, yeah. One of two that Mel Brooks filmed in black and white. Yeah, so very funny movie based on the Frankenstein genre, and he's the son of Frankenstein, basically. Okay, that's number 4.
Number 3, I think some people might expect this to be a bit higher. Blazing Saddles. It's got some hilarious moments in it. Gene Wilder's part in this as the Waco Kid. He is seriously funny, understated because he's meant to be the serious sort of gunfighter. But it's got some fantastic elements in this movie. Fourth wall breaks.
Yeah.
The fight at the end-ish of the movie, and of course running off into the sunset.
Yeah,
everybody wants that.
On the limo.
Yeah. That's the way any movie should end. That is one of Mel Brooks' best movies, one of my favourite Mel Brooks movies.
Sure.
So there must be some good ones if that's not higher. Number 2. Number
2 is one of my probably my favourite comedy of Gene Wilder, and certainly the pair, Richard Pryor. This is a hilarious movie. So these guys are sort of down and out on your luck. One's a bit of a dreamer, one's more realistic, and they're trying to make some money, basically. They decide they're going to move to California, I think it is. And they take this job as they're promoting this bank, and something goes wrong and they end up in prison, and it's about them trying to get out of this prison. And it works out that Gene Wilder seems to have a talent for riding bulls, and so that's their way of escaping, is by becoming bull riders and making money pretending to make money for a warden who's a bit of an asshole. One of the coolest thing about this movie is there's a guy, I can't remember his real name, we'll have to look it up. He's Terror in The Wanderers. Yeah, He's just huge.
He's huge.
Yeah, huge white guy. He's bald and incredibly Italian. Apparently, he's an opera singer. Is what he really does. But he looks like he looks like Frankenstein. Is what
He looks like
Frankenstein.
a thug. He's huge.
Yeah. So and you hear him sing a song in it. He's got the sweetest voice.
It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. And so that is Sidney Poitier movie, by the way, directed that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And number 1, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Roald Dahl has never been better than when Gene Wilder was Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka.
Obviously based on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Fantastic story.
A lot of people's favourite movie of all time.
It is a really interesting movie. The colours are real drab at the beginning because he is poor. He has nothing. And then as you see these golden tickets being discovered around the world, and then they find the final golden ticket, and you think, oh, he's not going to get one, and he's going to, live the rest of his life. Quite sad.
Yeah.
Then he ends up finding it. So you go on this fantastic journey with the main character, and then you meet Willy Wonka about halfway through.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, sort of quite into the movie.
Yeah, well, it's true, yeah, because the first half is quite...
It is all about you.
Yeah.
Okay. So you see Gene Wilder, and he is at his crazy best in this. He is fantastic in this. He really is Willy Wonka. I did enjoy Johnny Depp's version of Willy Wonka, but for me, Willy Wonka will always be Gene Wilder. I don't know why.
Yeah. It's pretty difficult to take such an iconic character, which he made, and change it. People have done it, like with the Joker, with Jack Nicholson's Joker, and Heath Ledger came along.
Heath Ledger's Joker, I don't know whether that can be beaten.
Yes.
Oof.
But
So
yeah,
good.
pretty tough job, having people think of somebody else as Willy Wonka instead of Gene Wilder.
Everybody would know him, well, the younger people will know him today as Condescending Wonka. It's a meme you use if you want to say something condescending about someone. Yeah. It's got some fantastic scenes in it and a really fantastic story from Roald Dahl.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still an event movie too. So like, when it shows on TV, it's widely advertised, and it shows like on a Saturday or Sunday night or something like that. Not just a throwaway movie during the week.
So certainly a movie that has stood the test of time.
Yeah.
Looks good. Kevin.
Alright.
It is time for Clash of the Geeks.
Time to put the nail in the coffin here.
If we...
There will be no third week for you.
This guy. Okay,
Yeah.
let's just give you a quick summary of what happened last week. Gavin is now one ahead. It is 7 points to 6. Our format has changed slightly. We get 2 points if we answer the question without asking for multi-choice. We have the option of asking for multi-choice if we aren't too sure what the answer is. To be honest, I made the mistake of trying to shoot for the answer.
Because the last one you should have taken the question.
Instead of going for multi-choice.
Yeah.
So I lost on that one. Gavin is now ahead 7-6. I think I asked the questions first.
Yep, so am I first up? Okay.
You are. Thinking face.
Okay, so we've pre-selected the questions.
Since we've pre-selected our numbered questions, we don't know what the questions are.
Okay, who starred as the... Who starred as the U.S. destroyer captain in the 1957 movie The Enemy Below? Five.
Multi-choice.
Was it Charlton Heston, Robert Mitchum, Gary Cooper, or Kurt Douglas?
I'll go Robert Mitchum.
Very good. Correct. Which city completes the title of this 1974 movie, The Cars That Ate? The Cars That Ate. Which city completes the title of this 1974 movie, The Cars That Ate something?
Where do we get these questions from?
Yeah.
I'll have to go multi-choice again.
Okay, is it A, London, B, New York, C, Berlin, D, Paris?
Why don't you even bother getting multi-choice?
Yeah, it was always going to be something like that.
London.
Paris. It's not a movie I've heard of. Who starred as the Bandit in the 1977 movie Smokey and the Bandit?
The Bandit was played by Burt Reynolds.
Correct. Okay. Sure, okay. In Stanley Kubrick's 1980 psychological horror The Shining, what was the name of the hotel resort? Good question.
Multi-choice.
Was it Sheraton Hotel, Bates Motel, Overlook Hotel, Budapest Hotel?
Sheraton Hotel.
It is the Overlook Hotel. In Star Wars, what body part does Skywalker lose in his battle with Darth Vader?
His hand.
You need to be a little more specific.
His right hand.
Correct. It's 5. Oh,
Still
5?
very good.
No. Okay, sure, I can't remember now. So. How many did you get? You got the first one?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Not great. 11. I think
Tough
I'm
questions.
7.
They were tough.
Can I have the cards?
Oh, sure. I got the same numbers as you.
Right. Given chose 246. In which 1995 movie did Dustin Hoffman play an expert who saved the world from a deadly virus?
1995.
95.
Outbreak.
Correct. Which Willie Russell play became a 1983 hit movie starring Julie Walters and Michael Caine?
Educating Rita.
Correct. Who won Best Actor Oscar for his part of the 1965 movie Cat Ballou?
Ooh, can you say that again, please?
Who won Best Actor for his part in the 1965 movie Cat Ballou? 4, 3.
Lee Marvin?
Correct.
Really? I didn't know you know.
In 1997 science fiction comedy Men in Black, the agents used a special device to wipe people's memories. What's this device
Neuralizer.
called? In Shawshank Redemption, what do all the inmates claim?
They're all innocent. Whoa!
That seems rigged. I might have to keep those questions. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a massive lead that Kevin's done now. 17-11. So, Kevin.
Yeah. That's the truth. Alright, Crapper, Born and TradeMe. We do have a winner.
Keeps on going.
So we had 2 correct answers to our question, which was what movie does our theme music come from, and who composed that music. So we had 2 correct answers. They look suspiciously like cut and paste answers,
Could be.
but they were correct. So we, prior to the show, we did draw out of the hat to see who won, and the winner is Elaine.
Elaine.
Woohoo! Yeah.
The answer for that was John Charles.
Oh, sorry, yeah, John Charles.
Was the composer.
Yeah.
And it was from the movie The Quiet Earth.
Yeah.
New Zealand science fiction. Actually a remake. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that was
It was a remake. And that answer could be found at the bottom of the description for each video. I actually pasted in each week.
Oh, dear, I didn't know. I thought it was just the original.
Just as a bit of a because you're meant to attribute any music that you use to the composers and stuff.
Yeah. It's a great piece of music. You should hear it. The whole thing's about 14 minutes long. It's very, very cool.
He never did anything else on
No,
that,
no,
but
no.
he did that, and it is quite good. It is John Williams-esque.
Yeah, it's
Pretty good for a New Zealand composer.
okay. So, Eric, I'm going to ask you to pick a number between 1 and 12 because Elaine didn't put a number down. So pick a number between 1 and 12, and that's going to be a prize.
Okay, I'll pick 3.
3, and number 3 is
Hot dog maker.
a hot dog maker. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put a picture on and what that is. I actually got him in car, but I can't be bothered going.
You said hot dog maker. Is it like a knife that cuts a bun in half?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Oh.
and it's a person who comes in and makes hot dogs. No, it's a little machine thing that. So everything got is sort to do with entertainment, sort of. So it's like a little machine where the hot dogs spin around and get heated up, and you got a bun warmer, and it sticks on there.
That's pretty cool. That sounds cool.
You could just throw it in a microwave, I guess, but now you got a machine that does it.
You got a machine that does it, and then you can heat your popcorn in the microwave.
It is brand new, by the way. See, these are all brand new, unwanted birthday or Christmas presents. They sit in people's garages for 2 years, and they decide to throw it in TradeMe. And
All right, Gavin. Crap I brought on TradeMe this
there you
week.
go. Okay, so that's us. What's next?
That's it. Crap I brought on TradeMe this week.
Oh.
Question.
Our question. Okay. Yep.
Okay, so behind me is the screen. Now you have to guess what is this movie. We'll give you a clue at the end. Oh, let's go back.
Throw out your hands, stick out your tush, hands on your hips, give 'em a push. You'll be surprised you're doing the French mistake. Voila!
Great musical.
All right, cut! Run! Okay, just watch me. It's so simple. You sissy Marys, give me the playback and watch me bang it.
Well, probably couldn't say that now.
Throw out your hands, stick out your tush, hands on your hips, give 'em a push. You'll be surprised you're doing the French mistake. Voila!
Dom DeLuise, if you wanted to know, there was one of his better parts.
Cool. So what's our clue?
Okay, our clue is this movie was in our countdown today.
Yep, it is definitely. It's a Gene Wilder movie, and it is one of our top 10.
One of our top 10 movies. Wow, I can't believe it. Let's
It's
see our
us.
show.
Too much.
Have we got any rugby on this weekend?
No, I think we've got to buy this weekend, I'm pretty sure.
Well, then I guess you're just going to have to watch us again and again and again. As I said at the beginning of the show, there should be a total down here. Lana, I'm very sorry. We might have to get an overdraft on our account.
I don't remember you saying that too much. I'm thinking you're pretty good, actually.
I was trying not to. So maybe it might be $1 or $2. I doubt that. I think it's in the 20s, 30s, maybe 40s. So one of our lucky subscribers will be winning that money. All I need you to do is, no, we will draw it out randomly next week. All our subscribers that we have listed, we will draw out randomly next week, and we will announce who wins that monetary prize. It actually won't be next week, it'll be the week after.
Yeah, it'll be the week after.
Week after. Week after. That's it. Any last words?
Yeah, just remember to put your answers to the question in the comment section. Put your number that you want from 1 to 12 for your prize, and that will be drawn probably the week after next, because next week we have a special. We're doing a summer season breakdown.
Summer season breakdown.
So remember, subscribe, like, do all those good things, and we'll see you guys next time. Catch you
Peace.
later.